my birthday card, and but Ben had put me down, as but it was one picture of my mother.
Oh, is that right?
My stepmother.
Now I don't understand the stepmother thing.
Huh?
Yeah, I think you talked about it a little bit last
Yeah,
night
I
about
know.
the stepmother,
Yeah.
right? And the stepmother, who was that? What was her name? What was the stepmother's name?
Vina.
Vina.
Viney. I think they called it Viney. Vine.
Viney.
So that was, but he was pretty old when he married her, evidently.
She was.
Sounded like it was after he moved in with
It started with a G. Like I, I know her name, but I can't think it.
Now, did he marry her when he was living with Larry? Or before
Yeah,
that?
I guess it's after he lived to Larry. Yeah, yeah. He died. She married. He married after Myra was born.
Okay.
He was here when Myra was born that year.
So
and
none of you still lived at home when he remarried then?
uh,
You were all out of the house when John remarried, correct?
yeah.
Were they ever at grandma's house?
But
did they stay there? Was it similar? Who stayed there?
he called. He couldn't write himself, but he had somebody write a letter, and he asked us how we felt about him getting married. He got married sometime between them and Myra. There's some, I can't remember exactly which day he got married, but anyway, I he called and asked me. I mean, they wrote me, and I wrote him back and told him. I said, Papa, I said, if it makes you happy, it makes me happy. I said, I don't care. I said, you have to do what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the way you feel, and I said, as long as she's good to you, I wouldn't worry about it at all.
Yeah.
But I said, it's not my place to say.
Yeah. You're not going to live with her. Well, you did, but.
But he had asked of us. He asked. We had to ask him if we could get married.
Well, yeah.
I guess he thought we had to ask him if
That's
he
right.
could get married.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oscar asked me if he could marry Grandma.
yeah.
So, anyways. You ended up living with him and her at some point?
No, I wasn't upset with her. I liked her all right, but it wasn't my mother.
No. Did you end up living with them?
Huh?
Did you end up living with them?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
So where did they live?
They lived right there. You know where Margaret lives?
No, I don't.
On Ash Street.
In Fresno?
In Marlow.
Oh,
yeah.
in Marlow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where Dad lived, right down that same street.
And when Aunt Mary moved out of Oklahoma, then he moved in with Uncle Larry.
Margaret lives closer toward the cemetery.
Okay.
But that's where Dad lived.
Okay.
So
I think Viney had that little house when they got married. It was for her husband.
Mm-hmm.
She married a Taylor to begin with, and we always called her Tall Taylor.
Tall Taylor.
And then there's another Mrs. Taylor. They were sister-in-law, and she was the shorter lady.
She was the
we always
small
called
Taylor.
her the tall Taylor. And I'd known her. God, God be good. God be good. I think was her maiden name. God
be good.
God be good, or God be something.
It was something
anyway,
like that, huh?
It's pretty close.
Wow.
And
what a name.
her maiden name.
Yeah.
And then she married a Taylor, and then she married. But she was so jealous of the grandchildren, the little grandchildren, Oh, she would even pinch the kids, they tell me, keep her to getting close to Papa.
Oh, really?
That kind of thing. But, some people are
Some people
funny.
are like that. That's right.
But
Did you call him John, or did they call him John, or
yeah,
so they called him John? You
yeah,
called him Papa,
yeah.
but most people called him John. What were you going to ask, Chuck? What were you going to ask?
No, when who lived with Grandma Maudie? Was that my grandpa's dad and mom?
Huh?
Who lived with my grandma Maudie? Was that our grandpa's dad and mom that lived with them later? You know, Otis's parents.
Otis.
Yeah, who lived with grandma and my grandpa?
Uh,
Was that his mom and
Otis
dad?
said he was living with Otis. Otis was living with um,
Because you know there was.
them when I knew him, when I met him.
Uh-huh.
His wife had died, you know.
Because I remember, because I was born in '54, and
Huh?
I was born in '54, and I barely remember, you know, great grandparents living there
Yeah.
someplace, but they were gone before I knew it,
Yeah,
so
I
I wasn't
know.
sure which ones they were or
If they
when
were
they.
the Bartons or
I had a
Huddlestons.
nice picture of your grandmother, and one with grandma, but some of the family has took it
Oh,
to
somebody
make a
else has having a
copy,
nice
but
picture.
I haven't. I
So,
don't know.
So
somebody.
someone else has a nice picture
Yeah,
then, huh?
somebody else does
So
it now.
anybody's listening to that, you need to
But
give her a picture back.
Yeah.
but anyway, that's I had one of Grandma with Keith in the picture
Oh.
together. Uh, but but I've known them ever since, you know.
You want me to warm
Just
that up?
if you warm it up,
Okay.
put some hot coffee in it and put it in the microwave. Uh, I, uh, I, like I say, when I
Hey, Beth.
first met the Huddleston, um, was after um, Marty had met, I guess, Otis. I don't know. Uh, I
There, it's still
something
hot.
about the
It's
yeah,
it's
that's
hot.
okay.
Okay.
That's fine. Uh, you know, your grandfather was always jealous of Henry Fowler. Uh, because not Mary, Marty had, I think, had a date or so with him before.
Oh, back in Oklahoma.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, long time ago.
And then they moved out to California too.
And so I, they used to come. Mr. Fowler was a I thought old man at that time.
Was that Henry's?
I guess he wasn't so old at that.
Was that
No, it
Henry's
wasn't
dad?
Henry. I was talking about his dad.
Henry's dad.
But his
Okay.
dad used to come over at our house, and he was always trying to flirt with the girls, you know. And I said, well, I wouldn't want to be with him. And so anyway, of course, Mamie was and Marty's was the best friends, you know, and so she married Luther, and I don't know. Then Henry got married. I don't know who married. I forgot who he married to, but he didn't.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
He's
died.
a pretty good,
She
pretty good
died.
sized guy.
He was by himself for a long time.
Yeah, he was a pretty big guy too.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, when then Mamie lived back over here by Maudie again after.
But Mamie was his
got
sister, right?
Woodville,
Henry's
and
sister.
and
Oh, Henry
and
Fowler's, yeah.
for some reason Otis was seemed like kind of jealous of Henry, but I didn't think Henry. Mary told me she's going with Henry, and I said, "You mean Henry Fowler?"
Yep. She ended up marrying him.
I said,
See,
"What?"
Otis knew something.
Yeah, I said, I've known him all his life, but I said I wouldn't think about marrying him.
Yeah, right.
But he was nice to
Yeah, he
me.
was. Yeah.
He was always.
He ran the Woodville Water District for years.
Yeah.
He ran that there. He was a nice guy. He was a good friend to Aunt Mamie and Uncle
Yeah.
Harry, and
Yeah.
and to do you remember Alma and